What's up guys, YGS Rats back at you with a Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. Obviously a very hyped up deck in terms of Blue Eyes White Dragon's popularity and just the fact that it's actually got the potential to be meta after being like 14 years in the running with no viable anything other than like a small engine and like spellbook decks back in 2014 I think. You might not be able to hold that to me, but let's face it, the original Maiden stuff wasn't quite the destructive force we all wanted it to be. But now we have plenty of new toys to play with thanks to Shiny Victories, and I finally got them in the mail, so we're going to go over my deck build. My deck build is not the most streamlined and competitive build, but it is a personal fun build, and it can definitely win some games anyways, just thanks to the power of these cards. But we're going to get right into it. So first off, we got 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon, just playing the movie pack art because it looks cool and it's new, and I don't want to damage my original structure deck Kaiba ones, so that's that. We're also playing 3 Consistency Blue Eyes. Alternative is great, obviously you just reveal 1 Blue Eyes in your hand to special summon it. You can target and pop 1, can't attack that turn, but the fact that it's treated as Blue Eyes White Dragon means it opens up a lot of extra deck plays, and you can also use that effect and then summon a level 1 tuner and Synchro into Spirit Dragon or Azure-Eyes or whatever. Actually, I don't think you can go into Azure-Eyes because it's not normal, but you can go into Spirit Dragon, which can then go into Azure-Eyes. Also running 2 Dragon Spirit of White. Great card in my opinion, only 2500 attack, so a little less than is ideal, but whenever it's special summoned, you can target 1 spell and trap on the field or banish it. This is great against potentially, Monarch, banish the domain. Yeah, they can get it back with Edia or whatever, but obviously way better against Pendulum and whatnot. And the fact that it doesn't destroy means it's good against Cosmo Town too, so in terms of the current meta, it's definitely good to have. Kind of like a main decked Galaxy Cyclone, which is always nice. I'm playing 2 Felgrand because it's one of my favorite boss monsters from back in the day. First structure deck I got was the original one, so I'm definitely playing this guy. Great for bringing back our level 7 and 8 dragons, but we only play level 8, so it's just all our big dragons come back with this effect. Can also banish from the graveyard to really disrupt things. Does target technically, and by technically I mean it does target, but it's definitely still a great card, and with its ability to revive from the grave in the battle phase, you can really abuse things with Dragon Spirit of White, which we just went over. I'm also playing 2 Amorphage Goliath. Basically, Vanity's Emptiness on legs for this deck. 2750, well, this is on the board. No one can special summon from the extra deck, except for Amorphage monsters. So basically, no one can special summon from the extra deck, so they can still special summon. It's not Vanities, but blocks out the extra deck really well, and thanks to things like Felgrand and Alternative, we're only special summoning from the grave and hand, and by only I mean we don't need to go into the extra deck, so we can definitely just stop your opponent from playing to the point where you win. Might consider taking it down to 1 or just siding it completely. That's probably a lot more streamlined, competitive better, but I'm enjoying annoying my friends with it at 1. So I'm also playing 3 Dragon Knight of Creation, one part because it's hollow and I wanted this deck to be as shiny as possible, and another part because it's just a solid 18 beater. You can discard 1 card and tribute it to special summon 1 level 7 or 8 dragon in the graveyard. Basically, once we have a dragon in the graveyard, we can summon this card, pitch something else, and then summon that dragon from the graveyard, ideally Felgrand or Blue Eyes or whatever. Also has the effect that you can, when it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can send 1 dragon from the deck to the grave. I believe 7 or 8 dragon from the deck to the grave, but not too used often for that effect. It's mainly just summon it and get a dragon that's already in the grave back out. We're playing Triple Sage as is mandatory. Fantastic card. When it's normal summoned, you can search any level 1 light tuner, so that includes things like Veilers or Whitestone of the Ancients or whatever, and then in your hand you can discard it to target 1 monster on your field, send it to the graveyard, and special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. Fantastic. I believe the discard effect is once per turn. The normal summon effect isn't, or I could be wrong, it might be each effect, but either way, you're not going to normal summon too often. It's mainly used to discard to grab Blue Eyes from the deck onto the field, and its searching Veiler ability is always great and fun to use. Pretty much just used to pull out your big level 8s. I'm playing 2 Whitestone of Ancients, a good card to target with Sage. Special summons a Blue Eyes from the deck in the end phase, and also you can banish it from your graveyard to return 1 Blue Eyes card from the graveyard to your hand to get back things like Alternative or Blue Eyes or that sort of thing. I'm playing 1 Maiden because I can, and because I don't have a 3rd copy of Melody of the Waking Dragon right now, so probably would take that out for a third melody, but until then, 1 Maiden. Great combo with Sage. You can discard Sage and target her, and you'll get 2 Blue Eyes out, which is easy rank 8 plays. Also playing 3 Veiler, search it out and negate effects. Ideally, when I can, I always search out a Veiler just to stop my opponent's plays from going off ideally. Isn't always the most optimal play, so I don't always do it, but when I can afford to, I definitely do, just because Veiler's a great thing to have. For the spell cards of this deck, we're playing 3 Return of the Dragon Lords, or Gospel of the Dragon Lords. Basically, it's Monster Reborn for level 7 or 8 dragons. And then also, if a dragon will be destroyed, you can banish it from the grave instead. That's regardless, like if they strike like a Felgrand effect or whatever, you can banish this instead of destroying it. The effect will still be negated, but instead of destroying it, you can grab this instead. That's only if they get the effect of it. If they like warning the negate summon, they don't, obviously you can't just be like, I banished this instead, just in case you aren't aware. Just a fantastic card in this deck in general. Also playing 3 trade-in just to get cards in the graveyard. Sometimes you have too many Felgrands or Amorphages or big blue eyes like Spirit of White in your hand, so just trade them and draw 2 cards. Like I said, only have 2, so I'm only playing 2 Melody, but if I get a third one, I will cut Maiden for it. That's just the way this is. I'm playing 2 Dragon Shrine, which is just Foolish Burial for dragons, as I'm sure you know. 2 Silver's Cry, which I wish I could find a shiny copy of, but it doesn't exist in print yet. It's the only common card in this deck. Kind of annoying. But quick play, Monster Reborn for normal types. It can bring back White Dragon, White Spirit Dragon, and Blue Eyes. And then 2 Twin Twister, just for back row. And rounding off the traps, 1 Warning, 1 Strike, because I have 1 Strike. And just in general, against things like Pendulum, negating the summons can be beautiful, but negating summons or effects in general is just good to have, and having 2 of them doesn't disrupt combos too much. For the extra deck, I am playing 2 copies of Blue Eyes Spirit. Beautiful card. I wish it came in Ghost or Ultimate Rare, but it doesn't. Still looks solid in Secret. Can stop any graveyard effect. Neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at once, and you contribute it to special summon a level 7 or a light dragon type Synchro from your extra deck, but it's destroyed at the end phase. No level specifications, so you can bring up something like Azure-Eyes, a light dragon. Fantastic effect here. During your standby phase, special summon a normal dragon from your graveyard. This counts for Blue Eyes and White Spirit Dragon, so can use their effects like that, just free level 8s. And then once during the turn it's summoned, dragon type monsters can't be destroyed or targeted by your opponent's card effects, which can be very good to have. I also play 1 Stardust Spark Dragon right now. I'm finding it's a little more useful, but I might switch that into a Moonlight Black Rose Dragon, just for that bounce. I'm also playing 1 Michael, the Arch-Lightsworn. Mainly just summon this, banish 1 with its effect, and then summon a level 1 tuner, and then you can go into Crystal Wing, which I'm playing 1 of, because it's Crystal Wing, and if you can, you should. For the Exceeds, 1 Felgrand, pretty self-explanatory, it's an 8 pool. We're playing 1 Titanic Galaxy to stop spells. I bought this card back when Photon Shockwave came out off like eBay, so I definitely wanted to throw it in here. I wouldn't recommend this one, there are better things, but I like it, so I'm playing Thunder and Dragon. It's detach the material and destroy all other monsters on the field. Can be pretty funny to use with Azure-Eyes if you get Azure-Eyes' effect off and then summon this in the same turn. It can't be destroyed anyway, so you free nuke. Playing 1 Dragulon for the mirror match, or just to get other things out of my hand potentially, as long as it's the only monster on the field, that's key. 1 Lancelot for negate, or to just attack directly for game. And then we're also playing a Photon Engine, which is basically going to Galaxy Eyes, Prime Photon Dragon, rank up into Armor, detach a dragon and pop something, and then go into Dark Matter Dragon and Foolish 3 of your dragons, which is just fantastic to do. And rounding it all off, we have 1 Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, mostly for the look of it. It's definitely got a solid effect, can't be destroyed by battle, can attack twice, and can banish non-targeting. Definitely has some practical uses here, but don't go into it too often. It's not the best play, it's more for the style on the points, and it's just Blue Eyes and it looks cool. And I'm playing this for funsies anyways. So there you go, that is my Blue Eyes White Dragon deck profile. Feel free to leave a comment what you do differently and all the fun stuff that comes along with YouTubing. Thank you guys for watching, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on YGO Strats.